everyone, and welcome to On Island Times Tips. On Island Time Tips is where we will share things that we do and stuff that we like that other RVers may find of interest. Sherry and I keep our RV at a nearby storage facility and visit on a weekly basis to perform inspections and keep the coach batteries charged in the wintertime. We also exercise the generator and start the engine. We look for any damage that may have arisen due to storms or vandalism. We feel it is important to our peace of mind in knowing that our RV is safe and in good operating condition and will be ready to roll when we take our next adventure.
Hi, this is Mike.
And this is Sherry.
And we are on Island Time. And as you might have guessed by some of the clothing that we're wearing and maybe some of the surrounding snow on the ground, that it's wintertime. But we still come to our RV even when it's wintertime. We want to come here and just do a quick inspection to make sure that everything is okay. Make sure what we're looking for the battery levels if the battery levels are low, we want to charge that up, maybe run the generator, run the engine, check for leaks, and make sure that there's been no damage while we've been gone and no vandalism. We do keep our RV at a storage facility, and we have been vandalized in the past. We had our catalytic converter stolen, and that was a very traumatic time because we wanted to take it out and go camping, and it almost interrupted our plans, but not quite. We were able to get it into the shop and get a new catalytic installed, but to the tune of about $650. We have one of the Ford chassis, and that chassis has a catalytic converter that is highly prized by thieves that are looking to steal your catalytic converters. Catalytic converter theft is on the rise everywhere in the United States. So if you have an RV, it's a really good idea, at least we think it's a good idea. You check it every once in a while when you have it in the storage facility just to make sure that nothing has been stolen or it hasn't been vandalized. The same location that we're at, there was another RV that also had its catalytic converter taken. The police found that when they were checking out our RV and the surrounding area, trying to figure out what had actually happened and how they got into the storage facility and all that. But anyway, we're going to take a step inside, so you're welcome to join us.
And I only come along to keep him company, so we'll see you in a bit here.
Of course. You're not recording, are you? You are. Trying to find the keys. There they are. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do, is we want to turn on the battery cutoff switch. Our battery cutoff switch is right by the door, so it's very accessible when we come in. So I'm just going to flip that on. Wait for things to warm up. I know that the battery's on because I can see the thermostat glowing over there. So some of the things that we like to check, check our panel for the system monitoring. There's 5 things that we check. We check our gray water, our black water, I can't read here because I don't have my glasses, our fresh water, our battery, and our LPG. Everything right now except for the battery and the LPG should be completely empty. So we'll just check those real quick. Nothing's in the tanks. For the battery, we're at 1/3, which isn't too uncommon. The weeks before that I've come down here and checked this, it's been about that level. And the LPG is going to be 2/3, which is good. what we're going to try to do right now is we're going to try to get the generator start. It's probably going to be a little temperamental, and we may not have enough juice in the battery to the coach battery to actually start it, but we'll find out here in just a second. So first thing I'm going to do is prime it. When the red light comes on, that means it's been primed, and I can let go of the primer button and then give it a crank. Now I don't want to crank it for too long. The batteries on the, or sorry, get this straight, the starter motor on the generator shouldn't be cranked for more than 30 seconds at a time. So, but I usually don't crank it longer than about 10-15 seconds. So let's give it a crank and see what happens. Okay, so it took a little bit of time to start up, but it did start. I did start it up last week and did have a little bit of trouble doing that. It was a little temperamental, and I had to prime it a couple times, but it was about 20 degrees colder than what it is right now. So one of the things I didn't do is I didn't turn on the LP gas before I came in. So we're going to sit here in the chilliness for a little bit, but it's not really that bad. It's about 25 degrees outside, and the sun's been shining on the RV, so it's pretty warm in here. Now the generator just kicked on the electric. We know that because the microwave comes on and we hear a beep. So now I'm going to take a walk outside. I'm going to take a look at the structure of the RV to just look for anything that looks normal. Take a look at the tires, make sure that they're still all look good and inflated, and I can take you around the RV. We can take a look. So I'm looking at the awning. I can see some ice up there that's built up a little bit. It doesn't look terribly bad. We definitely want to keep an eye on that, make sure that it doesn't get any bigger. If it does, I'd probably have to go up on the roof and clean that off. Everything else looks good. One of the other things I like to do is I like to take a look inside of the storage compartment, just to make sure that we haven't had any water buildup in there. We have had some storms come through, heavy rains, and okay, well, that was interesting. So yeah, everything looks pretty dry in here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is one of the things that we really like about this unit, is there is a huge amount of space in this back compartment. Let me just lock it back up. Make sure that it's all locked up. There we go. There's some ice that's set up around here, around this compartment. Some ice on the bulbs, but you know, it looks like it's on the top. It's not leaking through. If it was leaking through and coming out the bottom, then that might be a problem, because ice expands wherever it seeps into. Like from what I can see from here, the back ladder going up onto the roof of the RV, everything looks to be okay. There is that ice buildup that I mentioned earlier. It's built up in the water channel for the drain. You can see the drains right there. That's what drains water off the roof of the RV. I'm going to climb up here real quick. Just a quick inspection. Now, if it was a little bit warmer, I would give this a much more thorough inspection. So I'm just giving it a quick over because it's cold up here with the wind blowing, and there's quite a bit of ice up on top. covering the camera there. It's not really of any big concern. Okay, does the inspection. I'm going to go ahead and get down. We're running. Don't know if that's exactly enough time, but it should have given a good charge on the batteries. And what we're going to do is we're going to shut the generator down, and I'm going to do that right now. Just press and hold the stop button until I don't hear the generator revolving anymore. I no longer hear it, and it is completely off. The last thing that we want to do before we leave the interior of the RV is we want to shut off the cutoff switch. That is located here. This is the battery cutoff switch, and what that ensures is that there is no other devices that are draining that are draining the battery. One of the things I forgot to do was I forgot to check the battery level. I'm gonna do that real quick right now, and we got about 2/3 on the battery. So that should be enough to, until next week when we come again, we'll run the generator one more time and charge up the batteries again. And that's about it. And then we'll just make sure that we have the door shut, and we will make sure that it's locked again. Use the right key.